Another minute. Don't leave anybody out. All right, let's roll. So, still some people joining on, but we will go ahead and get rolling. So, thank you guys very much for attending this product webinar, another universal product webinar. We're going to be talking about the ICM UFPT 2 and 5. Those are our universal function programmable timers, basically a universal time delay. And then we're also going to talk about the ICM550 and 550 ENC, universal multifunctional time clock. And so let's get rolling. I always like to start by just, with the basics, what switching relays are. So what is a relay? Standard switching relays or fan relays energize or de-energize a load immediately when power is applied or removed. They contain a coil that, when energized, acts as an electrical magnet that pulls the contacts together or separates them to either transfer or cut power to the desired device. And this allows the use of a thermostat or another control to energize a device such as a contactor, a motor, resistance heater, etc. And this is an idea of what those contacts look like inside. If you take the cover off, you'll see these contacts. These are closed here. So that might be a normally closed. And then when it's energized, it'll open, or vice versa. And you see contacts on the other side too. So you've got different terminals that will either send power or cut power to the desired device. These also come in the form of these block relays, switching relays, same type of device. And you'll find these on circuit boards, especially our furnace boards and that type of thing. A lot of people use these for a variety of different reasons. And same principle for switching. They contain a coil that, when energized, acts as an electrical magnet that pulls contacts together or separates them to either transfer or cut power to the desired device. What time delay relays are, they're essentially the same thing, but incorporate a time delay function. And the time delay relays, like a standard relay, but they allow you to control when a load is energized or de-energized. They allow you to hold back or maintain power being applied for a set or a selectable amount of time. So what they do, time delay relays perform functions like preventing a fan from starting, like in a heating application. So it's cold in your house, and when the furnace fires up, you don't want the fan to come on immediately and start blowing, just blasting cold air, throughout the house. You can put a time delay relay on there to prevent the fan from starting. So energy is applied, but now you've got a time delay that you can set for a certain period to allow the heat exchanger to heat up, allow the plenum to heat up a little bit. And now when you turn the fan on, you're going to get warm air moving through the system as opposed to that blast of cold air. Holding back a compressor from restarting too quickly after shutdown, that's anti-short cycle. When there's high head pressure, compressor compresses gas. So you've got a suction side and a high pressure side. And when you have that pressure built up, if the compressor shuts down, it has a really hard time restarting against that. It's really rough on the compressor to start under that high head pressure condition. So what you can do with a time delay relay is you can say, okay, the compressor shut off. Now I'm going to I'm going to prevent power from being applied again for a certain amount of time to let those pressures equalize in the system a little bit so you don't do damage to the compressor over time. Maybe you want to stagger start multiple pieces of equipment to reduce current draw. Maybe it's a production facility. Maybe it's a refrigeration application where you've got a bunch of condensing units lined up. You don't want all of those to turn on at the same time. There's very high amp draw, unless you use an ICM soft start. There's very high amp draw at startup, big current spike to get a piece of equipment moving from a dead stop. If you try and do several pieces of equipment at once, you're going to be probably tripping breakers and, creating a lot of other mayhem, plus potentially doing damage to the equipment. So now you can use a time delay relay to stagger start these different pieces of equipment. So, first one comes on, now it's going to wait for, selectable amount of time before you let that second one come on. The startup current's a pretty rapid event, so it doesn't take long. You could put a couple of seconds and then let the other ones come on down the line, but you're protecting the equipment from damage by using these, by stagger starting the multiple pieces of equipment. You could also keep a fan running. Yes. Is that a question? Okay. You can also keep a fan running after the cycle shuts down for residual heating or cooling. So now that we've warmed those ducts up, the cycle is run for a while. Now your house is warm and the thermostat's satisfied and says, okay, I don't need heat anymore. And so it's going to cut the signal to the furnace. Well, why not keep the fan running for a little bit to utilize that excess or residual heat that's in that ductwork? So now I can keep the fan running and blow that heat out into the space. It's more efficient. And you can do the same thing in cooling mode. These ducts are cooled down. Why not utilize that residual cooling effect and keep the fan running for a minute, after the call for either heating or cooling has been satisfied. So these are just some examples of what you can do with a time delay relay. Applications are pretty endless with time delay relays. But HVAC compressors, like we say, the anti-short cycle, heat pump, same thing. Maybe it's a defrost situation. You want to use it to run a defrost for a certain amount of time. Irrigation, water systems, alarms, outdoor lightings. The applications are pretty endless. So time delay relays are used in many industries for a wide variety of applications. And HVAC equipment, refrigeration, defrosting, any application where specified time functions for motors, AC systems, fans, various things are required. So these are universal. We've got a 2-wire and a 5-wire. ICM invented the 2-wire time delay relay back in the 80s, 1984, when ICM controls started. Based on this 2-wire time delay relay, which I understand was actually done for a defense project, but then had so many other applications. Previously, time delays always needed a common wire, and the founder of ICM, Hassan Keita, Syracuse was the hotbed for electronics manufacturing back in that time, before Texas Instruments, and then we've got Silicon Valley and all that stuff now. But Syracuse is where it was all happening back in the day, and he invented this thing. Carrier was right across the street from the original facility, and ICM sold a boatload of these things to Carrier in the beginning because it was a 2-wire and didn't need that common wire, and it was perfect for OEM manufacturing. So then once it goes into OEM and all that equipment goes out into the field, if they ever need replacement, then it serves, it creates an aftermarket. So that's kind of how ICM was born. And the legacy of that 2-wire timer, there's so many of those out in the field that we really had to provide the 2-wire. The 5-wire will do everything that the 2-wire will do, but the 2 wires use a transistor inside. And so they need a little bit of power to operate, 40 milliamps to hold the circuit. So So we offer that because there's a million of those 2-wire time delay relays out in the field, and it's just an easier option for a guy. You can't go wrong on a 2-wire. The 5-wire is more universal in that it does have an onboard relay and will serve any of these functions. So the types of timing functions that a UFPT5 will do, you can have a delay on make, which is the example that I used of delaying the fan from starting. So power is applied, it's going to wait for a minute on this output circuit before it makes the contacts and sends power downstream. Stagger starting multiple units, delaying a fan, something like that. Off delay, this is a post purge or delay on break. So that's like keeping that fan running. So the signal here is like the thermostat says, okay, I'm satisfied, I'm shutting down. The furnace shuts off, but we keep the fan running for that time to get that residual cooling or heating effect. Repeat cycle, maybe it's a space where you have an exhaust fan that you want it to run for a certain interval, a certain on-off interval continuously. You can set this timer up to do that. Anti-short cycle, protect the compressor from coming back on too soon. There's other applications for these too. I'm just giving examples, but an interval or a bypass timer, maybe in a refrigeration system, you have a low pressure control. It's cold outside, and you want some head pressure in the unit. You don't want it to trip out on low pressure because that can be problematic too. Low pressure is bad. A compressor needs refrigerant coming back to it to help cool it, and it needs oil and various things. So low pressure controls are there to protect the system, to protect the compressor. If it's really cold outside, a low pressure control may drop out. There may not be enough head pressure in there for it to keep this thing running, to keep the system running. So we use a bypass timer to say, okay, we're going to go ahead and keep the system running for a selectable amount of time. Then we're going to drop out and let that low pressure control take over. By then, some head pressure should be built up. System says, okay, I'm good. That's an example of a bypass timer. Single shot. I know there are probably better examples in HVAC, but what comes to mind for me is like for those of you that live in the high dollar gated community or whatever, you come up and you push the button and the gate opens. Single shot, right? It does one function. Let's see, I know I had some other control the length of time device will run an operation, maybe a defrost timer or spa. They have those controls on there where you turn the dial and it'll run for a little while and then it times out. Privacy gate, that type of thing. And again, if you have any questions while we're going through this, please feel free to ask. We probably have some engineers on the call as well that always do a nice job of filling in the gaps that I miss, and they're great. So any questions that you have anytime, please call our tech support department. They're awesome. So feature benefits, very simple programming. Using this NFC technology, we'll show you that. Replaces hundreds of timer applications, literally hundreds. It is the most universal product out there on the market. Universal input voltage 24 to 240 AC, reduces truck stock inventory, includes a 5 amp dry contact output relay for controlling the load directly, so no minimum load requirement, and that's on the 5-wire. Installation instructions, wiring diagrams, timing, conveniently displayed on the app. I'll show you that. I shot a little video just on my own because I'm so impressed with these things. I think they're the coolest thing ever. And if you just get one, lay your phone on there, I'll show you that here in a second. But anyway, further specs, so input voltage, like I say, universal input voltage, output current, 0.5, 40 milliamps minimum to hold the circuit on that 2-wire. And then the dry contact on the 5-wire is a nice to have. And let's see what else we got. So everyone's probably familiar. These are what are out there in the field, and competitor models look similar to these. The little 2-inch block, and with the potentiometer on there. Potentiometers are okay, but they're not highly accurate. And so, for the longest time, that was the standard. We have improved on that in a huge way. And I'll show you with the NFC programming how much better it is. But, your standard delay on make and a delay on break and a duty cycle timer and a bypass timer, you got all these switches on here you got to mess around with, and fan delay timers, and it's all great. But if you don't have the right one on the truck, you're out in Timbuktu somewhere, guess what? Now you're making a trip to the distributor, and hopefully they have that, particular timer that you need. Otherwise, you're driving around town for a little bit, to find a relatively inexpensive item, costs you more in time and opportunity costs than anything. So a 5-wire ICM UFPT timer on the truck and a 2-wire is all you need. And we use this NFC technology. This is really smart stuff, and it's the right way to use it. We see people trying to incorporate NFC technology on things that kind of don't make sense. Where it makes sense, ICM is going to utilize this, and really is helpful in the field for the contractors. And all the answers are right there. Everybody's got a phone, and the answers are right there in the palm of your hand. NFC technology, short-range wireless technology that allows your phone to act and as a transit pass. They do credit card stuff with this, quickly transfer data, pair Bluetooth, for speakers and all that kind of thing. But ICM, we're going to offer more universal products as time goes by, but kind of only where it makes sense. So the NFC technology provides no pairing necessary. You don't have to have an internet connection. And so it's simple, it's hacker-free, eliminates the need for costly display on the devices themselves or components, that we had to incorporate in there. So it is really helpful, especially for some of the larger devices that had digital displays and that kind of thing. Enables quick and accurate customization. And I'll show you, you dial these things into the dead nuts number, whereas a potentiometer, it's kind of loosey-goosey. Provides quicker installation and easy use. Once you get used to these things, you won't ever want to use anything else. Download the app. If you don't have the app on your phone, all you have to do is lay your phone on the NFC logo on one of our devices, and the option to download will come up immediately. If you're using an Android, I lay my phone like the back side of it on the logo, and it comes up immediately. With an iPhone, you kind of have to use the top edge, we've found. Experiment around, but use the top edge and kind of scan across that logo, and it'll pop up. They're just a little different, Android and iPhone. I'm not endorsing which one is better. Just because I have an Android doesn't mean that I think it's better, but you can make your own judgment. So anyway, the app, the ability to download will pop up. Download the app. Now that you have the app, if you lay your phone on that NFC logo, the display will pop up, and it'll look like this on the left here. It'll say ICM controls program your device or read your device. So since we're going to start off fresh, we're going to program, and then you're going to get the menu of the items that ICM has that utilizes this NFC technology so far. And that is the 5-wire and the 2-wire UFPT timers. Also, our universal head pressure control, the ICM325A, uses the NFC technology. So we're going to choose a 5-wire, and then it's going to give you this screen, and you say create a program. Then you're going to get this screen. What type of timer do you want it to be? I want it to be a delay on make. Well, so then you go in there and, I'll show you this video because that says more than I can say. And then basically, once you change your parameters, you say program device, and you lay your phone on there and lay your phone on that logo, and the device programs just like that. No power necessary. You can program these things in the shop, in your truck before you go out to the job. If you have multiple ones to program, you can say you can save the program, use save program, and you can program a bunch of those. Let's say it's a commercial type application. Guy says, man, I'm going to put a head pressure control or a time delay on every one of these units, and I want it to all be the same. You can program them, before you go out to the job, or you can have somebody program them. Go out to the job, install them, and you're done. So huge time savers. But here's your NFC logo. And anytime you see that on an ICM device, you can use the Omni app. So let's see. I think I'm going to have to do something real quick. I'm going to have to stop sharing just for a second because I know I need to reshare and include sound in order for you to hear this. So I apologize for that. Can you see the screen?
Yep, we can see the screen.
All right. Hopefully you can hear the sound. There's no sound really necessary. So basically, this is going to be me touching the app. It says program read device. Program, I'm choosing a 2-wire time delay relay. I'm saying create program. I'm going to do a delay on make and see how this shows you green light, yellow light. It shows you what the function is, and it gives you a description down below, and it also gives you a wiring diagram right there, right in front of you. So if you're not sure about the function, you can look at that. Then you can change your parameters, and you can change those things milliseconds to hours. And like I say, dead nuts number. And you say set program device, and then you lay that on the device, and it just instantly programs. So, I mean, that's how easy it is. Let's see. Then if you can also read device. So let's say that you already have one of these things installed, and it's a couple years down the road, and you need to replace it. You can go in. You're looking at an ICM product that's already installed there with an NFC logo on it. You can say, hey, I don't know what the program is in this thing. Select read device and lay it on the logo, and boom, it pops up. Oh, okay, it's an anti-short cycle timer, and it's whatever these parameters are, 3 minutes, I think that says. And then I can say, okay, yeah, I'll go with that. Program device, lay it on the new replacement, and it's programmed just like the old one. Install it, and you're done. So huge time saving with these universal programmable timers. Brilliant technology from the engineers at ICM. They come up with the best stuff. They always go a step beyond everybody else, and it's just the best stuff in its class. Always has been, and always will be going forward. But you recognize some of these names. A couple of these guys sell some stuff out there. We replace all those, plus hundreds of other things. So one of the most universal products out there in the field. What makes them superior? Well, ICM controls makes them superior. We always make the best stuff. Universal function replaces 85 ICM legacy timers, because not only the ICM aftermarket timers that we sell, but we sell a ton of OEM timers and stuff out in the field too. So these can be set up any way that they need to be. And then all the competitor timers too. We don't even include that number. Well, we just say hundreds of competitor models, because we don't even have a handle on how many things we replace. The convenience to stock one control for all applications. Like I say, if you're out in Timbuktu somewhere, you're going to have a timer you're going to be able to make that work pretty much 100% of the time. State-of-the-art NFC technology allows accurate programming, better than potentiometers, of all functionalities using the smartphone. Installation instructions, wiring diagrams, timing diagrams are conveniently displayed on the app, as we saw. And please tell us if you would like one of these or some of these. If you're a rep, you need these. And what this is a UFPT counter display. Um, get, if distributors will order some of these things and bring them in and have one of these easel cards on the display. So it's a plastic, self-contained easel stand with this cut sheet in there and a UFPT5 mounted here. Put one of those on the counter, and every contractor in there, because the counter guys themselves will get excited about it. It's the coolest thing, man. I everywhere I go and every time I've done a training and stuff, I mean, people literally, they're like, whoa, what was that? Show me that again, and they think it is the coolest thing. So, very seldom do you have items that are like that, right? That inspire that kind of enthusiasm. So have one of these things out there and encourage your counter guys. Hey, come check this out. Lay your phone on here. And once you get them doing that, they'll do that with every contractor that walks in. And everybody should have these. And so please let us know if you would like one or some to give out to your customers, and especially customers with busy counters. A lot of times contractors may have to wait for a minute to get service. And as they're standing around, they'll mess around with these things. So any questions on UFPT timers before we move on to the 550 ENC? It's a time delay, so not huge technical hurdle there. Okay, ICM550 and 550 ENC. Reason I say 550 and 550 ENC because they're available in both an open board option. That's the ICM550. And that'll fit anybody's housing, like a Paragon or a, Intermatic, Grassland, all that. It'll fit in that housing. And then we also have it in an enclosure, and this is a NEMA 4 enclosure. Timers mounted in there, and it could not be easier. So these are all UL listed. ICM products are always UL listed. Sometimes competitors are not. But applications, so refrigeration for defrosting and these type of things, heat pumps, again, irrigation and water, alarms, so many uses for a multifunctional time clock. They're just used in many industries and many applications. And but for us, you'll see them a lot in refrigeration and heat pump defrosting and that type of thing. Timed or manual termination, adjustable 15 minutes to 23 hours and 45-minute defrost cycle, high power relay outputs, 100% monitoring of inputs and outputs. Very simple to use, drop and drag replacement for popular models, user-friendly, rugged NEMA 4, weatherproof enclosure, easy to mount, lockable, helps to protect control from harsh conditions outside. And like I say, it comes with a board only option or in the enclosure. We replace more than this, I'm sure. And again, scrubbing through and figuring out what we replace. This thing is universal. It will replace probably more than this, but Grassland, Intermatic, all those model numbers. We replace Paragon. A lot of people are familiar with both of those brands in our industry. And then the precision time clocks as well. Specs, not really anything earth-shattering about that, but single pole, double throw, single pole, single throw, 120 to 240, 60 hertz, relay output, and then timing, minimum cycles, terminate. Cycle can be terminated by shorting X to in. Then let's see, there was one thing in here. Dimensions are the same as the Paragons and the, those type of timers. Oh yeah, modes. So when B mode is selected and the unit is in the time cycle, the load will be turned on with the backup source. At the end of the time cycle, the unit will return to normal operation until the next preset interval occurs. And then if A mode is selected, the load is off during the time cycle, and the backup source will be turned on. At the end of the time cycle, the unit will return to normal operation until the next preset interval occurs. And so, all the features that you need in those. Again, any additional questions about 550 time clocks? Any input from our tech people or engineering? Not a big technical hurdle is the thing with these. So price points, we're always very, very competitive. And so that shouldn't be an issue, but universal parts advantages. So what we've been talking about in these webinars are universal type parts. We've got quite a few now. I don't know if it's a dozen, but it could be getting close to that. And it's really helpful because for distributors, ICM is always a quality product. So there's no concerns there. You're going to send a guy out in the field. He's not going to have to go back out there because of the product. Reduced inventory for distributors is really important. Fewer SKUs, more turns. I mean, that's what everybody wants these days. And the contractors, our products are very easy to understand. They're very intuitive, easy to install, hard to mess up. Is like I like to say, it's not impossible. Depends on the person behind the screwdriver, but we're very user friendly and we provide the best tech support. So for a distributor, reduced inventory is great. For more turns, fewer SKUs, more turns, single U.S. source, high manufacturability. And that's one of the things that's nice about universal parts. It's good for everybody. It's good for us because when we make a production run, we can just crank these things out. And we have, because of supply chain issues and stuff, it really forced ICM to evaluate their products. Engineering went back through every product and said, okay, how can we improve this thing? How can we modernize it, update it to utilize newer components that are more readily available in the world, and streamline these things? How can we produce more of them in a shorter amount of time with less, and can we eliminate any component parts or things that may cause problems down the road? So if we can really streamline these products, and that's one of the benefits. It was certainly painful while we were going through it for everybody. But we've emerged from that, I think, with better products, more manufacturable, produce more in a shorter amount of time. And it's readily available, and it's a versatile on-hand solution. So a distributor can have, some of these on the shelf as opposed to trying to stock one of every one of, all the items that we replace. I mean, we're in some cases, we're talking hundreds of items, dozens of items at least, that they can consolidate into one, and they can have that on hand, and they can hopefully help the contractor. We've got, and that's the value distributors need to add, right? Is to be able to help that contractor where they say, hey, I need something, I need this. Okay, we've got this. It'll work for you. Here's how it works. And we've got the training videos out there online. We've got the tech support. We've got QR codes on the boxes. Contractor can shoot that with his phone. It'll take him right to the internet, to that product page, and pretty much everything is on that product page. There's literature. If you scroll down, there's literature, installation guides. There's product installation video links, and if you don't see it there, go to the home page and go to the resources tab. All you have to do is look down there. There's videos on everything. We've got product training webinars like this. We've got installation videos that were done by people who know what they're doing, field people who show you how to hook it up and show you how to program it and stuff. So we've got all the support there. For contractors, universal products are great as well. Truck, real estate inside the truck is pretty limited. And so you're going to get a quality product, which is going to ensure that you don't have to go out on callbacks. Um, that's the biggest thing that costs contractors more money than anything are callbacks, because you could be on another job somewhere making money. Instead, you're going back to fix something that you already got paid for, and it's just a big waste of time and resources. So it's a quality product, perfect truck stock. This thing replaces, dozens and dozens of items. Reduce trips to the distributor. Also, you may go to one distributor and they don't have exactly the thing you're looking for. Then you got to go to another one, and it just can eat up so much time. So if we can help reduce that, that's what we're all about. Widely available. So we sell ICM controls has been around long enough. Uh, we sell to everybody pretty much. Everybody has some ICM products on the shelf. Distributors differ in the way they go to market. Some guys are equipment houses, don't have a lot of parts. Some guys are real parts heavy, don't have a lot of equipment, and everything in between. So we usually have some segment of product that fits with some distributors' go to market strategy. But widely available. Usually you can, if you don't find it here, you can go, a block down the street to the, Brand X and get it there as well. Easy to install, like we said, and very competitively priced. ICM is always, it's the best value proposition out there. Highest quality products, super competitive pricing. And we do have our preseason going on right now. Here's a shot of a part of our facility. We've got, we have so many areas with things going on back there. It's one of the most impressive things that I've ever seen. I always feel like a little kid when I go back there. I stand there and look around and I'm like, wow, it's cool. So then we've got our winter preseason going right now. This is for distributors, and to incentivize them to bring this inventory in ahead of the cold weather coming, and so they can bring this product in. We don't do a lot of discounting throughout the year. We pretty much focus on these preseason programs. We've got a spring and a fall. This says winter, but spring and fall preseason. And that's where we really try to incentivize the guys to, the distributors to bring this product in ahead of schedule. We give them a lot of benefits to incentivize them to do that. So please, if you're a rep, please get this out, be talking to all your distributors about it. If you're a distributor, please take advantage of the preseason. This is your best opportunity to get discounts on ICM products. Up to 14% off under certain circumstances. There's payment things and there's featured items and so on. But as you can see, these are a few of our most popular. These are our big movers. ICM325A. We are the leader in low ambient head pressure controls. I think without question have been for a long, long time. And now with this new universal head pressure control, we can replace even more stuff with one single item. So if you're a contractor, one of those on the truck and you're solid. For single phase. ICM517A, the best in class surge protection device. This is an A item for us. Sell a ton of these things, and it is the most robust NEMA 4X extruded aluminum enclosure and the highest rating allowed by UL. This is a very, very solid device. The ICM 517A is best in class. And then with the UFPT timers that we just talked about, a chance to really save on those. Featured item on the preseason, so it comes with some additional discounts. And these are a must-have. I think all of those items right there are a must-have for truck stock for contractors. In addition to a few of our other universal products, universal furnace board, 2812 kit, and spark module, ICM 2918, just a number of different things. Any way we can help you, please give us a call. We have great manufacturers reps out in the field. We've got regional sales managers that can help you anytime. We've got tech support internally and engineering that can answer any question that you have about any of these products. So let's see, that is about it. Make sure to also go to the ICM website and just take a look around, because there's very interesting videos on there of our production facility, a variety of different product videos, media library that has everything from pictures. So if you're doing any kind of marketing materials or anything, you can scrape pictures right from there, direct download videos. We have video loops for the branches. Some will have TVs in there, and they might have sound, but there's no talking. It's just like little music playing behind it. And then they'll have like a nice, very nice, nicely done PowerPoints where nice backdrop, and then the product slides in, and then bullets slide in, just basically tell you what it is and what it does. And they're probably a minute long, and then it goes on to the next one. So, and those are all directly downloadable and can be run on loops at any of the branch locations. Product details, application guides, sell sheets, cross references, PIM data, you name it, anything that you need to get information on ICM controls. So, any thoughts, any questions out there? Quiet. So, I thank you for attending, and these will be posted out on the ICM website, and then they also go out on YouTube. So thank you very much.
Thanks,
you.
Keith.
Thanks for the information.
All right. Take care.